Death is only a door. Only our body dies, but our soul never dies.
Do you ever feel like you've lost something being here?
No, I find everything way too lost. Poverty, virginity, and obedience. That's it. We are here.
There should be a hermit here, hiding among the rocks. But we've been told that as soon as he hears footsteps, he runs away.
Here, on Mount Athos, there are no women, precisely because women can be a distraction. We must pray incessantly to the Mother of God, who is a female figure, and fight against these spirits of the darkness of these times that only drive towards the pleasure of the flesh.
My name is Giuseppe, and I have a mission: to travel the world, to meet the most extraordinary people on the planet, and to ask them a simple question. What does happiness mean to you? Welcome to Project Happiness. We just left the passport office where we managed to obtain the Diamonetarian. That is the most peculiar passport in the world, because thanks to this, we'll be able to enter the Republic where women are not allowed. We're about to enter Mount Athos, the kingdom of chastity. Mount Athos is a micronation hidden in a remote mystical corner of northern Greece. It is one of the few theocracies existing in the world where sovereignty is symbolically exercised by God, and the monks are considered the interpreters of divine will. In this spiritual nation composed of 20 monasteries, about 1,600 monks from all over the world profess the Orthodox Christian faith, choosing to isolate themselves from the vices of the world, but especially from women. In fact, Mount Athos is the only republic in the world where women are not allowed to enter, because they're considered too great a temptation that would distract the monks from a life dedicated to God. However, access to Mount Athos is also limited for men. In fact, only 110 permits are issued per day, of which only 10 are reserved for non-Orthodox pilgrims like us. And as if that weren't enough, the only way to reach Mount Athos is through this old ferry, which, when the sea is rough, I assure you, can turn the 2-hour crossing into an experience anything but pleasant. We're off to a good start. This great adventure on Mount Athos. Soaking wet. However, these obstacles are a small price to pay to enter one of the most sacred and mysterious places in the world. We've arrived. I wanted to present myself appropriately to the monks inside the monasteries, but the sea had other plans. After a cold start, Mount Athos seems to welcome us with open arms. We immediately meet a monk who is meditating, waving a compaschini, which is the Orthodox rosary.
Rosary. How many dots?
100, depends. 300, 100, 150, 33.
Do you ever feel that you have lost something staying here?
No, I find everything way too lost. The monasticism is, if you don't want to get married and to make family for some reason, different reason, that is one way. You become a monk, or family or monk in Orthodox tradition, not in the middle, not in the middle. We try to keep the normal things, the promises that we gave in Jesus Christ in our tonsure. Poverty, virginity, and obedience. If you have Holy Spirit, you don't miss nothing.
You have everything.
You have everything. You are happy, and here this life, it's 80 years, 90 years, 100 like that. The other life is unlimited years. That's life we prepare for the next life. And the good thing is, if you have Holy Spirit, and in this life you are the most happy all over the world and in the next life. Naskala, brother.
Thank you very much.
Holy Trinity save
Thank you very
us.
much.
Αγία Τριάς Holy Trinity save us. Three for Holy
kisses.
Trinity.
Okay.
3 kisses for Holy Trinity.
Okay.
God
This
bless
was
you.
a nice welcoming for us. Thank you very much.
God bless you, brother.
This is indeed the perfect welcome to enter Charis, which is the capital of Mount Athos. Probably one of the smallest capitals in the world, because here about 100 people live who take care of the administrative and chancery work of all the monasteries. And there, inside the Greek consulate, once a year, all the abbots of the 12 monasteries gather to make the most important decisions for the Republic. The adventure is about to truly begin, because we're going to meet a priest who will take us inside one of the most important monasteries on Mount Athos. Our guide is a Romanian monk who's lived secluded in a cell for over 10 years. His stories make Mount Athos even more fascinating, as he explains how he and his brother know miraculous medicines thanks to their deep knowledge of medicinal herbs.
My abbot, he knows a lot about herbs, medicinal herbs, and he find a herb that can cure cancer. He helped a lot with this herb. It's very rare, and it's growing in the mountains. He just been outside to find this now. Many people who helped him, they have been cured by cancer, and one of them, as a gift, he gave this car as a thank you. So now we are arriving to Holy Monastery of Fata Bedi, and we will see now inside all that is allowed.
One of the most important monasteries on the mount is Vatopedi, where one of the most precious relics in the world is preserved, the girdle of the Virgin Mary. Inside, time does not follow the modern clock, but the Byzantine one, which means that the day begins with sunset to pray from the early hours of the night and immerse oneself in a spiritual dimension that seems eternal. And not only are women not allowed, but even female animals are prohibited on Athos. All the animals we see around, especially the cats, should be male cats. Even female animals are not allowed on Mount Athos. First impressions, not very positive. There's a lot of reluctance to talk to us. We're not being allowed into any offices. They're not welcoming us at all. Few monks want to talk to us. This adventure might be harder than expected. They kicked us out. They kicked us out of Mount Athos. Makes me laugh, but there's nothing funny about it because we've been left at the port and we're waiting for the first boat, which we don't know when it'll arrive, so this will probably be some sort of flash forward. You already know that the ending of this video will be slightly different. And probably, if you see the monks upset from now on, there's a reason. We were kicked out. At this point, given our experiences and adventures like these, anything could happen. Like being left stranded here in a port without knowing when you'll be able to leave, without food, but not for us, because we always bring snacks, like Small Giants. Do you know what it is? Well, I'll explain it to you right away. Small Giants is a very Italian company that produces the snacks of the future made with cricket flour. Yes, you heard that right, cricket flour. It may sound strange, but as with every report, we're here to break every prejudice. In fact, insects are the food of the future. For example, the crickets used to make these rosemary crackers have more protein than beef, more calcium than milk, more iron than spinach, more omega-3 than salmon, more potassium than bananas, and more vitamin B12 than red meat. A true superfood, delicious, but above all, sustainable, because every bite of Small Giants helps reduce environmental impact. So you enjoy all the benefits of edible insects without even realizing it and save the planet. And for the more curious, there are these whole insect snacks made with chili lime or barbecue flavor, which are a concentrated source of pure protein. Under the video, you'll find a discount code to try them at a special price. And as always, I'll leave the link in the description to try the snack of the future. Alas, the only place we're allowed to enter is the monk cemetery, which perhaps is metaphorically the most symbolic to understand their mission.
You come here when you have a fight inside you, when you have some temptation, and all the monks says just go in the graveyard and see the graves, and that will help you in your fight with your temptation. I should be here soon, so I must be careful what life I will live.
It's a reminder.
So it's a reminder, yes. So of what everybody became in the end. The monks, which is after they die and they put it here, after three depends of the monastery, 3 or 5 years, they are taking after the bones outside and the skulls, and they keep it clean. They wash it with red wine.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and with put also oil, olive oil.
Yes.
And they keep it in some places. You can see a little bit. Our father says that some of the people who are chosen of God, they have a cross on the head. It's, for example, this one. You can see here.
Yes. Wow.
Normally, usually people don't have this cross on their head.
But you don't know who he is, because it's not important to know.
It's not important, no. It's important is how we stand before God.
How do you feel in this room?
How do you feel?
It's impressive. It's
Don't you have peace? Don't you feel? Are you scared?
No, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I just feel that one day will be
Yes.
like this cool.
That is only a door. When we are dying, we are not dying. Only our body dies. But our soul never dies.
So I guess that this is the reason why you are here.
Yes, when you became a monk, you are thinking about your life, your inner life. I mean, your soul. Because choosing this life, it's not easy. You are putting aside all your pleasures, all your willings. We want to change ourselves, our soul, our behavior, and become a new man.
And I still didn't know that these powerful words explaining the great sacrifice of every monk would be a warning for what happened just a few hours later.
I didn't expect this situation this morning.
I didn't expect.
Yeah.
But somehow the devil put this man to spread 2 or 3 o'clock in the night some rumors between the monks here in Holy Mountain. My abbot says, stop, let them come home. It's not your business.
Yeah.
And I must obey. It's the only thing from me.
I think our adventure ends here. The first time this has happened, it's never happened that someone kicks us out or stops us making videos. But I just found out that we made some videos about the transgender community
La comunità transgender.
and other videos they don't agree with. And they're kicking us off the island. This has never happened before. This great adventure on Mount Athos ended sooner than expected. We just found out the exact reason why we have to leave the mount immediately. They showed us the message that all the priests received and the reason, clearly. As you can imagine, it's the video about Muslim trans people, about ladyboys, but I didn't expect this about the way Irani. Sure, I'm not a great naked view of the way Irani, but not even that. And then, I was also surprised by the fact that one of the reasons was, well, the ultra-Orthodox Jews. Yoga. Yoga was harshly criticized. And the vaccine. I don't even feel angry after seeing the reason why they're kicking us out. We've been doing this work for many years now. We believe that everyone in the world has the right to say, to share with everyone their vision of happiness. And we'll continue to do so despite everything. And now we have to go home. But we couldn't give up like this. So we decided to try to meet the only monks who certainly hadn't received that message, the hermits. Here are some of the monasteries. We're trying to reach some hermit priests who've decided to live far away from other monks in solitude. They're called wandering hermits because they live in places completely perched on the mountains, far from everything, with great survival difficulties. But they live like this, and we would like to meet them. Let's see if we can manage it. This should be the access point the monks advised us to use. There are usually hermits here because there's a small church. Now we'll go to find... Oh, here it is. That's wonderful. This was used by St. Joseph the Hesychast to pray intensely with his disciples. It is said that he prayed all day, all night, to get closer to God. And so this has also become a symbol for all the hermits in the area. So if we wait, we might find some of them nearby, hopefully. There should be a hermit nearby who hides among the rocks, but we're told that as soon as he hears footsteps, he runs away. Others instead, there are many legends here on the mount. About 12 hermits who lived naked among the mountains, only that they are invisible, and so they could be among us, but they do not reveal themselves. And then there's another one who they say that every time someone finds his dwelling, he burns it. He runs away, finds another one in the mountains. There are many legends. We're trying to find at least one who wants to talk with us. Chatting with us would be a privilege, because they obviously try to stay separate from civilization, and we're slightly disturbing them. Hopefully not, but we're trying to find one that wants to chat with us. We found one of the many cells that host the hermits in the mountains. I'll try knocking to see if anyone's here, but it seems uninhabited. Unfortunately, yes. Hello? It really seems like there's no one here. Very humble. There's the bare minimum for survival. A bed. Of course, there are some figures, some images, religious icons. Table for eating. Here the hermit comes to retreat, to pray. To dedicate their whole life to prayer. I think that the main goal of these hermits is to be able to pray even while they sleep. In fact, they try to have an uncomfortable bed to stay semi-conscious, to pray all night long, 24 hours a day. Prayer must accompany them throughout the day. And this is the life of a hermit, but no one's here now. It's a bit risky to wait because we don't know if the hermit who sleeps here at this moment will return. I'd rather continue to see if we meet him in the mountains. He might have run away. On hearing us, feeling us, I hope not. In fact, the monks tell us that we're not really disturbing them. On the contrary, some want to chat with curious people like us. But we must be cautious and also respectful of these people who withdraw. So let's see if there's someone, otherwise we'll head back. As is perhaps a bit fitting, we didn't manage to meet any wandering hermits. But just when we were about to lose hope, a wonderful conversation with a Romanian monk was enough to avoid the mistake of judging this mystical place by a single error. But how did you decide to live on the mount?
I chose to follow this art of monasticism because the Lord gives us weapons. Because we're at war with the forces of darkness. We're not at war connected with ourselves. And the weapons are the cross, prayer, the word of Christ. And like in any battle, you need to know how to use these weapons, and it's an art. Monasticism is called the art of arts.
There is one of the laws of Mount Athos that intrigues me the most, and I wonder how life can be without the female figure. Here on Mount Athos, there are no women, and you probably haven't seen one in many years.
Yes, exactly. Here on Mount Athos, there are no women. Precisely because women, as you have well thought, can be a distraction. God created us to
Reproduce.
reproduce, Man is attracted to woman. Woman is attracted to man. Here, Mount Athos is also called the Garden of the Mother of God. And the Mother of God asks us to give us a special grace to continue in this life without the female figure. But we must pray incessantly to the Mother of God, who is a female figure, to ask the Lord Jesus Christ to give us the strength to fight against these spirits of darkness, these demons that push you only towards the pleasure of the flesh.
You said that women are a distraction, but don't you think it's too easy, so to speak, to live in a place where that distraction doesn't exist? It's like running away from that distraction, but you don't really face it.
When we are in the city, in the world, we have the female figure everywhere. But we don't appreciate it as much because it's around us. When you come or you withdraw into the monastery, a very hard struggle begins with yourself. This struggle with the flesh is not easy. But it's not impossible. With God's help, it can be done. I've been here for 11 years. The first time I saw a woman was after 6 years. But slowly, technology has entered this place. The worldly spirit forgives nothing. If it can enter even the most hidden caves of the world, it will enter. And so it happens to see a video or a photograph, and I saw a female figure, but with different eyes.
And if I asked you what happiness is for you here,
I realized that happiness does not exist in this world, a complete happiness. But it exists in glimpses. In this life, happiness is mixed with sadness. On the same day as your birthday, your dog dies. And you don't know whether to be happy or sad, right? And this is given to us by God, with His grace, to be able to continue life, which is a exam, a test. Life, in truth, is the cross. Life is one. and we must see it as a gift. We must all carry our cross. Do what? Where are we called?
The pursuit of happiness is not always easy. It can even be frightening, especially in a secluded place like this. But the monks of Mount Athos, even if indirectly, have given me a new ingredient of happiness: the human being. To be happy, one needs to choose a mission. The monks here have chosen to dedicate their mission to God, renouncing all earthly pleasures, a sacrifice that makes their life a continuous act of love. And it's fascinating to reflect on how every life on earth is shaped by what we decide to put our heart into, whether it be relationships, ambitions, or faith, like these monks. It's important to remember that living this life, full of what we've decided, is new.